by William Shakespeare. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, Act 1. The Tragedy of Macbeth by William Shakespeare. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Dramatis Personae.
Duncan, King of Scotland. Read by Joshua Christensen.
Malcolm, son of Duncan. Read by M.B.
Donalbain, son of Duncan. Read by Ellis Christoph.
Macbeth, General of the King's Army. Played by Mark Smith of Simpsonville, South Carolina.
Banquo, General of the King's Army. Read by Simon Lavoie.
Macduff, Nobleman of Scotland. Read by John Leader, Bloomington, Illinois.
Lennox, Nobleman of Scotland. Read by Adnan Mirza, Pakistan.
Ross, Nobleman of Scotland. Played by Rosalind Wills.
Menteith, Nobleman of Scotland. Read by David Lawrence, Brampton, Ontario.
Angus, Nobleman of Scotland. Read by Ross Clement.
Caithness, a Nobleman of Scotland. Read by David Nichol.
Fleance, the son of Banquo. Read by Aaron Elliott, St. Louis, Missouri.
Siward, Earl of Northumberland. Read by Brian Edwards.
Young Siward, Siward's son. Read by Laurie Ann Walden.
Satan, an officer attending upon Macbeth. Read by Paul Williams.
Son of Macduff. Read by David Lawrence, Brampton, Ontario.
Lady Macbeth. Read by Elizabeth Klett.
Lady Macduff. Read by L.C.
Hecate. Read by Ruth Golding.
First Witch. Recorded by Jennifer Stearns, Concord, New Hampshire.
Second Witch. Read by Kristen Hughes.
Third Witch. Read by Charlene V. Smith.
O2.
Doctor. Read by Eric M. Johnson.
Gentlewoman attending on Lady Macbeth. Read by Laurie Ann Walden. The Attendant and the Servant. Read by Anna Simon.
Lords. Read by David Nichol.
An Old Man. Read by Paul Williams.
Porter. Read by David Leeson. First Apparition. Read by David Lawrence, Brampton, Ontario.
Second Apparition. Read by Ross Clement.
Third Apparition. Read by Finn Jameson.
First Murderer. Hevid.
Second Murder. Read by Anna Roberts.
Third Murderer. Read by Ross Clement.
Messenger by Iswa, Belgium.
The Soldier and the Sergeants. Read by David Nichol.
End of Dramatis Personae. Act 1 of The Tragedy of Macbeth. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. The Tragedy of Macbeth by William Shakespeare. Act 1, Scene 1. A desert place. Thunder and lightning. Enter 3 witches.
When shall we 3 meet again? In thunder, lightning, or in rain?
When the hurly-burly's done. When the battle's lost and won.
That will be ere the set of sun.
Where the place?
Upon the heath.
There to meet with Macbeth.
I come, Grommalkin.
Paddock calls.
Anon.
Fair is foul, and foul is fair.
Hover through the fog and filthy air.
Exeunt. Act 1, Scene 2. A camp near Forres. Alarm within. Enter Duncan, Malcolm, Donalbain, Lennox, with attendants, meeting a bleeding sergeant.
What bloody man is that? He can report, as seemeth by his plight, of the revolt, the newest state.
This is the sergeant who, like a good and hardy soldier, fought against my captivity. Hail, brave friend! Say to the king the knowledge of the broil as thou didst leave it.
Doubtful it stood, as 2 spent swimmers that do cling together and choke their art. The merciless MacDonald, worthy to be a rebel, fought that the multiplying villainies of nature do swarm upon him. From the western isles, of kerns and gallow glasses is supplied, and fortune, on his damned quarrels smiling, showed like a rebel's whore. But all's too weak, for brave Macbeth, well he deserves that name, disdaining fortune, with his brandished steel, which smoked with bloody execution, like Valor's minion, carved out his passage till he faced the slave, which ne'er shook hands, nor bade farewell to him, till he unseamed him from the nave to the chaps, and fixed his head upon our battlements.
Oh, valiant cousin, worthy gentleman!
As whence the sun gins his reflection, shipwrecking storms and direful thunders break, so from that spring whence comfort seems to come, discomfort swells. Mark, King of Scotland, mark, no sooner justice had with valor armed compelled these skipping kerns to trust their heels, but the Norweyan lord, surveying vantage, with furbished arms and new supplies of men, began a fresh assault.
Dismayed not this our captains, Macbeth and Banquo?
Yes, as sparrows eagles, or the hare the lion, if I so suit, I must report. They were as cannons overcharged with double cracks, so they doubly redoubled strokes upon the foe. Except they meant to bathe in reeking wounds, or memorize another Golgotha, I cannot tell. But I am faint. My gashes cry for help.
So will thy words become thee as thy wounds. They smack of honor both. Go, get him sergeants.
Exit sergeant attended.
Who comes here?
Enter Ross.
The worthy Thane of Ross.
What a haste looks through his eyes. So should he look, that seems to speak things strange.
God save the king.
Whence camest thou, worthy Thane?
From Fife, great king, where the Norweyan banners flout the sky and fan our people cold. Norway himself, with terrible numbers, assisted by that most disloyal traitor, the Thane of Cawdor, began a dismal conflict, till that Bellona's bridegroom, lapped in proof, confronted him with self-comparisons, point against point, rebellious, arm against arm, curbing his lavish spirit, and to conclude, the victory fell on us.
Great happiness!
That now, Sveno, the Norway's king, craves composition, nor would we deign him burial of his men till he disbursed at St. Colm's Inch $10,000 to our general use.
No more that Thane of Cawdor shall deceive our bosom interest. Go, pronounce his present death, and with his former title, greet Macbeth.
I'll see it done.
What he hath lost, noble Macbeth hath won.
Exeunt. Act 1, Scene 3. A heath near Forres. Thunder. Enter the three witches. Where hast thou been, sister?
Killing swine.
Sister, where thou?
A sailor's wife had chestnuts in her lap, and munched and munched and munched. Give me, quoth I, a roin to thee, witch, the rump-fed Runyon cries. Her husband's to Aleppo gone, master of the Tiger. But in a sieve I'll thither sail, and like a rat without a tail, I'll do, and I'll do.
I'll give thee a wind.
Thou art kind.
And I another.
I myself have all the other, and the very ports they blow. All the quarters that they know. I the shipman's card. I will drain him dry as hay. Sleep shall neither night nor day hang upon his penthouse lid. He shall live a man forbid. Weary 7 nights, 9 times 9, shall he dwindle, peak and pine. Though his bark cannot be lost, yet it shall be tempest-tossed. Look what I have.
Show me, show me.
Here I have a pilot's thumb. Wrecked his homeward he did come.
Drum within.
A drum, Macbeth doth come.
The weird sisters, hand in hand, posters of the sea and land, thus to go about, thrice to thine, and thrice to mine, and thrice again to make up 9. Peace, the charms wound up.
Enter Macbeth and Banquo.
So foul and fair a day I have not seen.
How far is called to Fours? What are these, so withered and so wild in their attire, that look not like the inhabitants of the earth, and yet are on't? Live you? Or are you aught that man may question? You seem to understand me by each at once, her chappy finger laying upon her skinny lips. You should be women, and yet your beards forbid me to interpret that you are so.
Speak if you can. What are you?
All hail Macbeth. Hail to thee, Thane of Glamis.
All hail Macbeth. Hail to thee, Thane of Cawdor.
All hail Macbeth. Thou shalt be king hereafter.
Good sir, why do you start and seem to fear things that do sound so fair? In the name of truth, are ye fantastical, or that indeed which outwardly ye show? My noble partner you greet with present grace and great prediction of noble having and of royal hope, that he seems rapt
God
withal.
bless it.
To me you speak not. If you can look into the seeds of time and say which grain will grow and which will not, speak them to me, who neither beg nor fear your favours nor your hate.
Hail.
Hail.
Hail. Lesser than Macbeth and greater.
Not so happy, yet much happier.
Thou shalt get kings, though thou be none. So all hail Macbeth and Banquo.
Banquo and Macbeth, all hail.
Stay, you imperfect speakers. Tell me more. By Sinel's death I know I am Thane of Glamis. But how of Cawdor? The Thane of Cawdor lives, prosperous gentleman. And to be king stands not within the prospect of belief, no more than to be Cawdor. Say from whence you owe this strange intelligence, or why upon this blasted heath you stop our way with such prophetic greeting. Speak, I charge you.
Witches vanish.
The earth hath bubbles as the water has, and these are of them. Whither are they vanished?
Into the air, and what seemed corporal melted as breath into the wind. Would they had stayed.
Were such things here as we do speak about? Or have we eaten on the insane root that takes reason prisoner?
Your children shall be kings.
You shall be king.
And Thane of Cawdor too. Went it not so?
To the self-same tune and words. Who's here?
Enter Ross and Angus.
The king hath happily received, Macbeth, the news of thy success, and when he reads thy personal venture in the rebels' fight, his wonders and his praises do contend which should be thine or his. Silenced with that, and viewing o'er the rest of the self-same day, he finds thee in the stout Norweyan ranks, nothing afeard of what thyself didst make, strange images of death. As thick as hail came post with post, and every one did bear thy praises in his kingdom's great defence, and poured them down before him.
We are sent to give thee from our royal master thanks, only to herald thee into his sight, not pay thee.
And for an earnest of a greater honour, he bade me from him call thee Thane of Cawdor, in which addition hail, most worthy Thane, for it is thine.
What? Can the devil speak true?
The Thane of Cawdor lives. Why do you dress me in borrowed robes?
Who was the Thane lives yet, but under heavy judgment bears that life which he deserves to lose, whether he was combined with those of Norway, or did line the rebel with hidden help and vantage, or that with both he laboured in his country's wreck, I know not, but treason's capital, confessed and proved, have overthrown him.
Aside.
Glamis and Thane of Cawdor, the greatest is behind.
To Ross and Angus.
Thanks for your pains.
To Banquo.
Do you not hope your children shall be kings, when those that gave the Thane of Cawdor to me promised no less to them?
That trusted home might yet enkindle you unto the crown, besides the Thane of Cawdor. But 'tis strange, and oftentimes to win us to our harm, the instruments of darkness tell us truths, win us with honest trifles, to betray us in deepest consequence. Cousins, a word, I pray you.
Aside.
2 truths are told as happy prologues to the swelling act of the imperial theme. I thank you, gentlemen.
Aside.
This supernatural soliciting cannot be ill, cannot be good. If ill, why hath it given me earnest of success, commencing in a truth? I am Thane of Cawdor. if good. Why do I yield to that suggestion whose horrid image doth unfix my hair and make my seated heart knock at my ribs against the use of nature? Present fears are less than horrible imaginings. My thought, whose murder yet is but fantastical, shakes so my single state of man, that function is smothered in surmise, and nothing is but what is not.
Look how our partner's wrapped.
Aside.
If chance will have me king, why, chance may crown me without my stir.
New horrors come upon him like our strange garments cleave not to their mould, but with the aid of use.
Aside.
Come what come may, time and the hour runs through the roughest day.
Worthy Macbeth, we stay upon your leisure.
Give me your favor. My dull brain was wrought with things forgotten. Kind gentlemen, your pains are registered where every day I turn the leaf to read them. Let us toward the king. Think upon what hath chanced, and at more time, the interim having waited, let us speak our free hearts each to other.
Very gladly.
Till then, enough. Come, friends.
Exeunt. Act 1, Scene 4. Forest, the Palace. Flourish. Enter Duncan, Malcolm, Donalbain, Lennox, and attendants.
Is execution done on Cawdor? Are not those in commission yet returned?
My liege, they are not yet come back. But I have spoke with one that saw him die, who did report that very frankly he confessed his treasons, implored your highness pardon, and set forth a deep repentance. Nothing in his life became him like believing it. He died as one that had been studied in his death to throw away the dearest thing he owed as for a careless trifle.
There is no art to find the mind's construction in the face. He was a gentleman on whom I built an absolute trust.
Enter Macbeth, Banquo, Ross, and Angus.
Oh, worthiest cousin! The sin of my ingratitude even now is heavy on me. Thou art so far before that swiftest swing of recompense is slow to overtake thee. Would thou hadst less deserved, that the proportion both of thanks and payment might have been mine. Only I have left to say, more is thy due, than more than all can pay.
The service and the loyalty I owe, in doing it, pays itself. Your highness's part is to receive our duties, and our duties are to your throne and state children and servants, which do but what they should, by doing everything safe toward your love and honor.
Welcome hither. I have begun to plant thee, and will labour to make thee full of growing. Noble Banquo, thou hast no less deserved, nor must be known no less to have done so. Let me enfold thee and hold thee to my heart.
There if I grow, the harvest is your own.
My plenteous joys, wanton in fullness, seek to hide themselves in drops of sorrow. Sons, kinsmen, thanes, and you whose places are the nearest, know, we will establish our estate upon our eldest, Malcolm, whom we name hereafter the Prince of Cumberland, which honour must not unaccompanied invest him only, but signs of nobleness, like stars, shall shine on all deservers. From hence to Inverness, and bind us further to you.
The rest is labour, which is not used for you. I'll be myself the harbinger, and make joyful the hearing of my wife with your approach. So humbly take my leave.
My worthy Cawdor.
Aside.
The Prince of Cumberland. That is a step on which I must fall down, or else sore leap, for in my way it lies. Stars, hide your fires. Let not light see my black and deep desires. The eye wink at the hand, yet let that be which the eye fears.